Hi guys, this is Ben with FCP. Today we're working on a 96 Volvo 850 Turbo. Here we have FCP's front suspension rebuild kit. We're using the Koni shock absorber, some Sachs strut components, associated Volvo hardware, as well as associated bump stop hardware. Let's get started. First, we're going to start by loosening up the main strut to knuckle bolts. Next, we're going to release the ABS sensor from its retainer by pulling it straight out. And we'll undo our sway bar end link. Next, using a 13mm socket, undo the strut top bolts. Set those all aside. Tap the bolts out. And slowly work the strut off of the knuckle carefully. Now, this stuff is all probably original. The bearing feels a little bit sticky and crunchy. The spring seat has torn through, and the bump stop has just basically crumbled to bits, and it's not even doing anything anymore. So let's get started on tearing these down. So to do this, what you need to do is use your spring compressor, and I must stress to you guys the danger of using a spring compressor. Don't do it if you feel uncomfortable. Only do it if you know what you're doing. They're very dangerous. You want to apply even pressure to the spring. Once your spring is compressed, use your 21mm socket and remove the upper bolt. And you have the cross nut on there. You'll need to remove that. Remove the strut bearing, the spring seat. As you can see, this one's pretty beat up. Pull the spring right over your old strut. Empty all the contents. And set all this aside. To assemble your bump stop, you take the washer and the bump stop and you pop the teeth right into the washer like so, and it'll hold itself together. Then take your boot and slide that right over the bump stop. To start, slide your spring over your strut, making sure that you have it locked in properly. Slide your bump stop assembly right down. Take your spring seat, and again, it only goes in one way. You want to make sure the spring is backed into that notch. Take your cross nut, spin that down. Once your cross nut is tightened down, take your strut bearing and slide it over the spring seat. Take your cap and nut. Make sure you have the notches facing downwards. And tighten that all the way down. Make sure the spring is locked in place. Once your strut and spring assembly is assembled, you can go ahead and start popping that right back into the car. Make sure you line the strut top holes with the bolts. Take your brand new hardware. We're going to use a jack placed under the control arm to lift the strut into the strut tower. Replace your washers and your nuts. And tighten everything down. You can relieve pressure from your jack. Pushing in on the rotor, tighten up that top bolt. Now you're free to tighten up the bottom bolt. Pop your ABS wire back into the holder and reinstall your sway bar end link. As you can see, that repair wasn't too difficult. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to call FCP. Thanks for watching.